Hello, I'm Lucy, your narrator. Thanks for joining me for another video, and if this is your first time here, a very warm welcome to you. But before we get started, please kindly take a moment right now and click that subscribe button and notification bell so you can be alerted of every time I upload a new video. And also please watch this video to the end to see some really nice behind the scenes photos. Some Like It Hot is a comedy, music, and romance movie. It was released in the USA in 1959 and it stars Marilyn Monroe, Tony Curtis, and Jack Lemmon. And some of the co-stars were George Raft, Pat O'Brien, Joe E. Brown, Nehemiah Persoff, Joan Shawlee, George E. Stone, Dave Barry, Mike Mazurki, Harry Wilson, Beverly Wills, Edward G. Robinson Jr., and others. And some parts of it were filmed in the Hotel De Coronado in California. It was directed by Billy Wilder, and this movie won one Oscar. This movie is about after two male musicians witness a mob hit, they flee the state in an all-female band disguised as women, but further complications set in. The Hotel Del Coronado that was used in the film was where L. Frank Baum wrote the original book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, in 1900, and it was used in the 1980 film The Stuntman. Legend has it that it was where Edward VIII met Wallace Simpson. The character of Spats Columbo is in several ways reminiscent to the notorious Chicago gangster Al Capone. Capone was responsible for the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1929, in which his rival gang members were gunned down in a nearly identical fashion as shown in the film. The massacre occurred in a Chicago garage on Clark Street, which is also mentioned in the film. The Nehemiah Persoff role originally was offered to Edward G. Robinson, but Robinson had vowed never again to work with George Raft, with whom he had a fist fight on the set of Manpower in 1941 when, for a scene, Raft spun him around too hard. And Jerry Lewis was offered the role of Jerry or / Daphne, but declined because he didn't want to dress in drag. When Jack Lemmon received an Oscar nomination for the role that Lewis gave up, Lewis claims he sent him chocolates every year to thank him, and he regretted not taking the part. A male cabaret dancer named Barbette tried to teach Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon to walk in heels. But after about a week, Lemmon declined his help, saying he didn't want to walk like a woman, but like a man trying to walk like a woman. And when Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon first put on the female makeup and costumes, they walked around the Goldwyn Studios lot to see if they could pass as women. Then they tried using mirrors in public ladies' rooms to fix their makeup. And when none of the women using it complained, they knew they could be convincing as women. There is a scene on the train reenacting this moment. And according to Jack Lemmon, George Raft spent hours teaching him and Joe E. Brown how to tango. Tony Curtis had been going to analysis as much as 4 times a week for several years. And when the time came for him to appear on the set in drag for the first time, Jack Lemmon had to take him by the hand and literally pull him out of his dressing room. Tony Curtis has said that he asked Billy Wilder if he could imitate Cary Grant for his stint as the millionaire in the movie. Wilder liked it and they shot it that way. Apparently, Grant saw the parody of himself and stated jokingly, "I don't talk like that." Years after the film's release, a movie reviewer asked Tony Curtis why his Josephine was so much more feminine than Jack Lemmon's Daphne. Curtis explained he was so scared to be playing a woman or a man pretending to be one that his tightly wound body language could be read as demure and shy, traditionally feminine traits, whereas Lemmon, who was completely unbothered and ran out of his dressing room screaming like the Queen of the May, kept much more of his masculine body language. And upon its original release, Kansas banned the film from being shown in the state, explaining that cross-dressing was too disturbing for Kansans. And the resort scenes were filmed entirely at the Hotel De Coronado in San Diego, California. One reason why Billy Wilder chose this location was Marilyn Monroe's ongoing personal problems. He wanted a location where she could live on site and not have to be transported. And Marilyn Monroe required 47 takes to get "It's Me, Sugar" correct, instead saying either "Sugar, it's me" or "It's sugar me." After take 30, Billy Wilder had the line written on a blackboard. Another scene required Monroe to rummage through some drawers and say, "Where's the bourbon?" After 40 takes of her saying, "Where's the whiskey?" "Where's the bottle?" or "Where's the bonbon?" Wilder pasted the correct line in one of the drawers. After Monroe became confused about which drawer contained the line, Wilder had it pasted in every drawer. 59 takes were required for this scene, and when she finally does say it, she has her back to the camera, leading some to wonder if Wilder finally gave up and just had it dubbed. And stories of the difficulty that cast and crew had with Marilyn Monroe during the making of this film have grown to almost mythical proportions. In the farewell telephone conversation between Monroe and Tony Curtis, her side-to-side eye movements clearly reveal that she was reading her lines directly from an off-screen blackboard. According to Curtis, Monroe was routinely 2 to 3 hours late to the set and occasionally refused to leave her dressing room. Director Billy Wilder, referring to Marilyn Monroe while making the movie, said, and I quote, "We were in mid-flight and there was a nut on the plane," unquote. Indeed, Monroe's insecurities were the source of near-constant disruptions to filming, which caused so much stress in Wilder that he reportedly had to take suppository sedatives in order to get to sleep. He publicly blasted Monroe for her behavior. And according to David Thompson in his book, Have You Seen?, actress Mitzi Gaynor was standing by in the event that Miss Monroe became disabled. And after shooting was completed, Billy Wilder threw a celebration dinner at his home for cast members and friends. Marilyn Monroe was not invited. The crushed star had to have it explained to her that she had cost the production roughly $500,000 with her delays and unprofessional behavior. Wilder had generally unkind things to say about her after this film. When asked if he would do another project with her, he replied, "My doctor and my psychiatrist tell me I am too old and too rich to go through this again." And after reading some of the things that Wilder said about her in print, Monroe called his home and told his wife to please give her husband the message to go F himself. Marilyn Monroe was pregnant during the filming and as a result looked considerably heavier. She had several miscarriages in her life. Due to her pregnancy, most of the publicity photos were posed for by both Sandra Warner, who had an uncredited role as one of the band members, and Monroe's frequent stand-in, Evelyn Moriarty, with Monroe's head superimposed later. And according to Tony Curtis's 1993 autobiography, he had a premonition that Marilyn Monroe would be dead within 1 to 2 films. He also claimed that he and Monroe had a prior relationship while each were struggling actors and resumed their affair during this filming. However, Monroe's comments about Curtis in what would be her final interview in Life magazine of August 3rd, 1962, cast serious doubts on those claims. And in 2008, a California man who found a little black dress in his closet was stunned when appraisers for U.S. TV series Antiques Roadshow in 1997 determined it once belonged to Marilyn Monroe. The frock, which Monroe was sewn into for Some Like It Hot, was estimated to be worth $250,000.
Not since Scarface, so much action. Not since the Marx Brothers, so much comedy. Not since the 7-Year Itch, so much Marilyn. The best picture this year will also be the funniest.
Good night, sugar. Good night, honey.
There's one thing sure, boy never met girl like this before. You've never laughed more at sex or a picture about it.
You stay here as long as you like.
Jack may have beaten Tony to the sugar, but not for long.
You're not giving yourself a chance. Don't fight it. Relax.
On the United Artists soundtrack album.
If you like that one, we've got a lot more. Hotter than your morning coffee.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, I would greatly appreciate it if you would please kindly give me a like, comment below, share with others, subscribe to my channel, and click the notification bell to be alerted of every time I upload a new video. Please come back to see the next one. Until then, bye for now and be blessed.